Like when you're hitting here, pops right through. But when you're sitting there square in the middle, I can't hardly hear anything that's specifically No, you guys are fine. That's all it's. But of course, I can tell he's doing something, but I'm listening for it, and because when he's up here, and I watch that here, I hear that. And when he's on this, when you're up there on the deck, that pops through. But when he's sitting in his middle, I can't distinctly tell where he's at. Now, when you guys drop all out, then I hear it.
Turn the mids.
Okay,
But I also got to balance the piano is low in my notes, so I've got to turn that up. All of the songs.
Feel like a million out of the everyone's house prior to like the show.
Personalized.
I don't mean to bust your
cover up the vocals.
If we're too loud, we start covering up.
Okay, all right.
Because a lot of times the guys are doing stuff on stage that makes it harder to get their mics or mouths up close to the mic.
Oh, okay.
Try not to get excited when you're playing.
It is hard not to just start pushing.
No when to, oh no, that's another thing. Got no way to turn down.
And the rest of the show, I think it was only one song I played this one. The rest of the show I'll be with that.
Okay.
And so you might listen to that too to see.
Oh, no worries.
Because that's the one I played with you.
No control. Okay, all right.
Double check. Guys, are you ready to? We're going to warm up by doing just the opening number before we
Wow, I know we put those chairs there, but I don't want to block this.
I know. Oh, you can, yeah, you can move them wherever you are.
Makes them look like we got a crowd if we got people sitting up here.
In some ways, it was get out of the way. And somebody's going to have to be here.
Yep. Gary's got that. All right, guys. Welcome to our, early audience tonight. Thanks for being here. I think Gary's already told you we may be a little bit not quite ready for prime time. You guys know. So anyway, before we start the actual run of the show, let's do the opening number as our warm-up. Just the band and singers if we could. And then we'll, get in places and do all of that. And Terry will kick us off with the announcements and we'll go right through the show in order. Hopefully with no stops. We're going to do all the costume changes, but they're pretty minimal, and we've got jokes for the one chicken soup change that's a little more timely. So, but
You gave it away, Jim. You gave it away to the audience.
Well, that's the disadvantage of coming to the pre-show, I guess. Sorry, guys. Anyway,
Pretend you're surprised.
pretend you're surprised. Any questions or clarifications from band or singers, anybody, before we get started? You know, just as far as, you know, spots you thought about where you were concerned we might have hiccups or whatever. Yeah, Michael?
Can you explain dark energy to me?
There's none of it here, I can tell you that.
That's energy.
Any concerns at all, you know, though, about transitions or any of that stuff? Singers, I just need to say one thing to singers tonight. I know the other night we were kind of laxed about our entrances, but tonight, let's be really as crisp as possible. In other words, very heads up. If you're in the next scene, to be listening to Terry's intro and be ready, basically for your cue line, which is the tail end of his intro for every number.
It's written back there.
And we've got him back there too. So be ready if you can. Try to, you know, hustle through those costume changes, and because tonight's our night to test all that out to see if we have problems. And we won't know that unless we're really, you know, pushing it. So, any other questions or anything? Well, the other thing is, you know, if something doesn't work out just right, try to go with it and self-correct. Like, just to give an example, Dave and Chad on the Blues Brothers, I think maybe Dave had wanted to re-enter a little sooner. He missed that cue, but he ad-libbed and he came in when that recycled back and the band went with him. You guys, you know, we're all seasoned performers. You guys kind of know what we're talking. So tonight, let's try to do that. In other words, you know, unless it's a major train wreck, let's keep it rolling. Just like in the past, you know, this dress rehearsal, so we got to kind of act like, well, what if this happens Saturday, which is, of course, the show must go on. So if it's little stuff like that, just roll with it. If it's some major train wreck, of course, we can stop and correct it. But I'm thinking, I'm real hopeful we won't need that, right? Because we're in good shape.
We got one thing.
One thing.
Remember to smile and have fun.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Sam said, be sure to smile and have fun. So even if you're concentrating and, you know, concerned about something, don't show these guys, right?
We're not here.
Yeah, they are here. I mean, and that's why we're. Just remember, that's what we're getting ready for, is to perform to an audience. So, you know, have fun and they'll enjoy it more. Yeah. So, okay, everybody ready? Okay, let's go ahead and run the opener.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Smile and suddenly nobody else will do.
section or? I'm just looking at the thing.
Do we want to discuss perhaps some things?
Your email said we do
Let's have any questions? Yeah, we're doing the show in order, so yeah.
Good evening, ladies. I'm Terry Mosley, and I have an admission to make. We Catholic boys actually had a bit of trouble finding someone to come out here and MC tonight's show. The boys first asked the funniest Catholic boy to MC, but he said no. Next, they asked the most charming Catholic boy to MC. He said no. Next, they asked the best-looking Catholic boy to MC, and he said no. Then they asked me. You know, after turning them down 3 times, I just had to say yes this time. So here I am, and welcome to the 83rd edition of the Catholic Boys. We are especially excited tonight because after decades of trying, we think we finally have it right this time. Fingers crossed. And now, the nearly famous Catholic Boys somewhat proudly present Catholic Boys on Retreat. Well, lovely ladies, tonight's fabulous show actually began weeks ago with our semi-monthly gossip party. The Catholic Boys collectively decided that after doing our shows for so many years, we needed somehow refocus, regroup, regain our youthful enthusiasm once again and be our teenage selves. How to regain this steely focus, you may ask? After much discussion and cussing, we decided a good old manly retreat into the wild might be just the thing to do the trick. Get away from all these distractions. We decided a good getaway would involve getting way away after much arguing about such faraway places as Timbuktu, French Polynesia, Thomasboro. We boys finally came up with a clever idea to journey to the redwood forest of California. A great solution, you might think, but our boys were in for a huge surprise that would alter these plans. What was this wonderful surprise, you may ask? We will get to that intriguing question momentarily. But dear ladies, I fear we're getting ahead of ourselves because, as many of you know by now, every Catholic boy show begins with a grand opening number.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
Singular sensation, every little step she takes. One thrilling combination, every move that she makes. One smile and suddenly nobody else will do. You know you'll never be lonely with you know who. Moment in her presence, and you can't forget the rest. For the girl is second best to none. Ooh, sigh, give her your attention. Do I really have to mention she's the one? Singular sensation, every little step
Yeah, he wants to stay here.
What do we just
So-
repeat those two chords over and over?
Like literal of an
E flat, yeah, yeah.
just E flat and F7. Okay.
Well, ladies, as I'm sure you veterans have noticed over the years, we boys have at times struggled with that world-famous kick line. Never more true than this year. In fact, several of our boys have recently been diagnosed with early onset rigor mortis. Ladies, I don't know about you, but I feel like reminiscing tonight. You know, after all these years of Catholic Boys shows, if these walls could talk, yeah, they'd probably just yawn. But I digress. Back to our masterpiece. To recap, ladies, we boys were ready to get on with our planned retreat to the Golden State of California. We pooled all of our money and Ubered up to O'Hare in Chicago. Unfortunately, that left no money for our air flights to the Redwood Forests. Unfortunately as well, we had no money to get back home. We were in a pickle, to be sure. With all of our plans shattered, we were left at gate 25 at O'Hare, with only our broken hearts and thoughts of what might have been. Here now, Gary Bosley leads the way as we dream of that golden state.
not gonna be very long, we shouldn't,
Yeah. Yeah. Ladies, our boys' unfortunate circumstances were enough to keep a good group of men down. But of course, we Catholic boys handled the situation with aplomb. Yes, you heard me right, ladies. Aplomb. That's a word, I looked it up. And it's not just something you eat, no. I can't recall right now exactly what it means, but it fits in this situation. We handled the situation with aplomb. Well, truth be told, we just sat on the curb at the airport and waited for something good to come our way. And as what usually happens in these shows, our faith paid off. We received a telegram right away. There in Terminal A, we boys were made an offer we couldn't refuse. An invitation to perform in Chicago to none other than the newly appointed Pope Leo himself. He was in town visiting family, personally requested a performance from none other than the fabulously famous St. Patrick Catholic Boys. As you ladies certainly imagine, it's very hard to say no to a pope. And needless to say, we were very happy lads. Here now, veteran Catholic boy Dave Madden joins us in welcoming our brand new Catholic boy, Chad Beckett, as they perform a welcome home song to the Pope himself. Ladies, they are on a mission from God. last song so poignantly pointed out, the Pope thinks we Catholic boys are dope. At least that's what I think he said. I'm pretty sure the last number made the Catholic boys all that much more impressive in the Pope's eyes. He even invited us to one of his favorite haunts in the big city of Chicago, a trip to Rate Field, home of his favorites, the Chicago White Sox. Ladies, if any of you are White Sox fans, oh, come on, who are we kidding? No one's going to admit to that. But if you were, you know the Sox do things a little differently. While virtually all the other ballparks in the major leagues do take me out to the ball game for the 7th inning stretch, the White Sox have their own rather unique take on it. I will now let Jim Mayer explain how it's done.
Thank you for joining us, Pope Leo. Do you have a hat you want to reveal to us? All right, go Sox! Go Sox! All right, all you good Sox fans out there, what you might not realize is, ever since the good father, Father Bob, our favorite Sox fan, became Pope Leo, ever since then, we started singing a different song at the 7th inning stretch in his honor. And so we're going to ask all of you to join us now for that, all right? So here's how it's going to work. All right, we're going to sing it up here first, once through. And then this half of the audience, this half of the stadium is going to sing it with us. And then the second half of the stadium, you wait and start singing with these guys. We'll give you a signal. It's going to be in a round, and it's the song Dona Nobis Pacem, which means grant us peace, which some of you who are Catholic might know that's the end of the Lamb of God prayer from the Mass. All right, so here we go. Dona Nobis Pacem. Thanks, everybody, and go Sox!
Well, ladies, as you undoubtedly noted with disdain, I was not asked to sing in that last number. No, almost all the other Catholic boys were asked, but not me. I know what you're thinking. What a tragedy. Well, it's okay. It really is. I'm happy they didn't ask me. That's right. I'm happy. I'm happy. Anyway, back to our ridiculously fabulous show. I am happy to report that Pope Leo was so taken by our boys that he himself arranged an Uber to take us far away. Let's see, as he put it, immediately, if not sooner. Our boys, very disappointed that our dream of retreating to the redwood forest of California was not to be, we soon settled on a second, slightly lesser known spot called the Deadwood Forest of Penfield, Illinois. Unfortunately, our Uber trip to Chicago had depleted all of our funds, leaving no money to rent a campsite for the retreat. After drawing a short straw, one I have to change that. This should have come first. Ladies, we Catholic boys pride ourselves on running a very tight ship, as you've noticed. But occasionally, circumstances beyond our control make it necessary to improvise, stretch for time. Tonight, this is one of those times. But I'm not going to tell you a lame joke or two, no. No, instead I have a couple of heart-rending stories that exemplify the good old American marriage values. First, not long ago, in a town not far from here, a very old gentleman was on his deathbed. He was gasping for breath. Yes, each breath could have been his last, but amazingly, he vaguely became aware of the aroma of chocolate chip cookies. The aroma became stronger and stronger until in his delirious state, he said, I must have a cookie. Gathering all of his strength, he threw himself off the bed onto the floor and miraculously survived the fall. He proceeded to pull himself hand over hand across the floor, hand over hand down the staircase, and hand over hand into the kitchen, where he looked up at the table, and there above him was a plate of steaming chocolate chip cookies. He reached up his shaking, withered hand, and just as he was to grab one, his wife smacked him in the hand with a spatula. Why did you do that? He gasped. Those are for the funeral, she said. Well, ladies, if that didn't bring a tear to your eye, I'm sure this next heartwarming tale will. At the end of a funeral service, who was being held for a woman who had just passed away, the pallbearers carrying the casket accidentally bumped into a wall, jarring the casket. They heard a moan from inside, and they opened up the casket to find out the woman was actually alive. Well, miraculously, she went on to live 10 more years before dying. And as fate would have it, the funeral ceremony was held in the same church. And at the end of the service, the same pallbearers were once again carrying out the casket. And as they were walking down the aisle, the woman's husband could be heard crying out, "Hey fellas, watch out for that wall." And that, my good ladies, is what a good marriage is all about. Now, back to where we should have started. Well, ladies, as you undoubtedly probably did that. All right. Our boys, very disappointed that our dream of retreating to the redwood forest was not to be, soon settled on a second, slightly lesser spot known as the Deadwood Forest of Penfield, Illinois. Unfortunately, our Uber trip had depleted all of our funds, leaving no money to rent a campsite. After drawing the short straw, one John Miner was tasked to make money for the camping area. He bravely took one for the team by getting a part-time job advertising for a local poultry farm. Yes, ladies, you heard that correctly. He was head chicken advertiser for Lenny's Poultry Farm just outside of Penfield, Illinois. Anyhow, once our camping spot was secured, we got straight to work. And our first gathering, what better session than a devotion to God. Here now is that enlightening moment with all of us singing, all of us.
Jesus came like a
Well, ladies, as you can see by that last number, the Catholic Boy Retreat was off to a flying start. The boys were pumped and eager to continue. The next retreat lesson was simply entitled Devotion to Wives and Girlfriends, or both. On that note, I've got a funny kind of story to tell you. I guess it's not really a story, but I was talking to a preacher friend of mine not long back, and I said, I have a desire to live forever. And he said, well, that's easy. You need to get married. And I said, oh, if I get married, I will live forever? And he said, oh no, but you will lose the desire to. How about you? Oh, and speaking of Christmas, you know it's right around the corner. I want to ask you lovely ladies to do me a favor. Quit asking Santa to bring you the perfect man. He tried to kidnap me 3 times this last week. Okay. But I digress. Here now is my brother, Terry, in an eye-catching number.
Set?
Just a second.
Okay.
Just do the intro.
Yeah. Terry, Gary, remember I'm counting this off.
Oh.
Remember that? One, two, three.
It was late last night. I was feeling something wasn't right. There was not another soul inside. Only you, only Ladies, by now you may be fearing for our safety on this deep, dangerous, wooded trip to Penfield. Fearing that we city slickers would be completely out of our element, for after all, we're just a small group of Catholic boys out alone against who knows what. But fear not, ladies. We Catholic boys are always prepared. For example, we Catholic boys always carry a flask of whiskey with us just in case of a snake bite. And, ladies, just in case, we all carry a small snake as well. So fear not. Now, my dear friends, after that last really entertaining lesson devoted to wives, girlfriends, or both, our boys knew they needed to include the rest of the family. What better way than to have a session devoted to children and grandchildren? Believe it or not, dear ladies, a few of our boys are parents and some even grandparents. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We hide it well. Here now, Tom Kasich and friends lead this childish session. I'm betting it'll be lovely.
Where do I start this? Yeah, I don't remember. Do I start this? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Terry, what do you think you're doing?
This song is about me, isn't it?
Well, Gary, this song is Isn't She Lovely? And you indeed are very lovely tonight, but it's really about our kids and our grandkids. It's really not about you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh. Poor Gary.
Oh, hey, Gary, since you're out here already, why don't you come up here and join us and sing with us? We would love that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought through love we see a sweet one as lovely as she. But
4. Ladies, after that last incredibly magnificent number, you undoubtedly can imagine that we Catholic boys take our trained singing instruments very seriously. In fact, we practice 24/7, 3 days a week. I'm sure you're very up-to-the-know ladies are familiar with the almost humorous saying, "Are you working hard or hardly working?" Anyway, the latter has been true of some of our boys lately. In fact, some of the boys even accused me of being lazy. Like I told them, look, I didn't do anything. So, truly a retreat session devoted to hard work was in order. Perhaps the hardest working men of all were one Dave Madden and his wingman, John Miner, also known as the Chicken Man. They now lead the charge on a very hard song.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I found the things that you do will make me feel alright. Now I work all day to get some money to buy a thing, and it's worth to say you're gonna give me everything. So I let you know, and when I get you alone, you know I feel alright.
switched over, I've done my training.
So let's, you and I'll work together to try to.
You can try to play anything that
Like that. Oh, well, it'd be 4 or 5 minutes if kept going.
Okay. With our retreat now in full swing, we boys were not only starting to feel refreshed, but all of our boys, to a man, began to feel our youthful enthusiasm returning. In fact, one of our boys, who shall remain nameless, was even heard to say that he felt like a kid of 68 again. Ladies, after a long, hard, exhausting day of competition, including games of rock, paper, scissors, twister, and an especially competitive match of hopscotch, which almost brought the boys to blows, it was finally time for our boys to move on to the daily lesson. This time our session was devotion to our Catholic brothers. I'm sure it's very apparent to you that we Catholic boys are a very close-knit group. We are all for one and one for all, as our motto clearly indicates. There's no I in Catholic boys. Our next number is aptly led by a real gentleman. How do I know he's a gentleman, you ask? Well, he can play the accordion, but he doesn't. Here now is Gary Wazalik and his Brothers in Arms.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things that you can borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother.
go right away to the next tune, so we need to do that band.
Well, ladies, with time running out on our rugged retreat, we boys took to thinking about all of our own modern conveniences. We realized that at times we live very busy lives and very full lives, but sometimes with all of these modern conveniences, smartphones, smartwatches, smart wives, etc., it all becomes too much. We boys, being rather simple-minded types, decided to wind up our retreat with the thought of paring down on things and living more simply. So our last session was devoted to living simpler lives. Ladies, fun fact, our next singer was recently named third runner-up in the Best Looking Man contest at Walmart. Here now is Jim Mayer.
So now I guess we should do that too.
How can we vamp that?
Hold on.
Keeps changing.
Let's do the A
Where's the A section?
So that is the after, that's when Jim starts singing.
Well, my good ladies, with the retreat now officially over, our boys all realized just how much we missed our loved ones. It'd been a grueling but very fruitful journey up to Chicago, back down to Penfield Woods, and even though our sessions had all been impactful, we were left with extreme homesickness and no visible way to get back to St. Patrick's. Our money, having all been spent on junk food, was long gone, and on top of that, we were pretty much lost in the massive forest. Being a group entirely made up of men, we decided we absolutely would not ask for directions home. Our crafty guys, geniuses all, soon had the answer. We'd make a small sloop sailboat and sail down the Middle Fork River. What could possibly go wrong? Here now is that rather adventurous scene.
Come on, sloop John B. My grandfather and me.
Ladies, I'm sure you've heard the old expression, the best laid plans of mice and Catholic boys often go astray. And unfortunately, that was never more true than on this occasion. After that rather unpleasant trek down the Middle Fork River, we arrived not in Urbana, but in what we initially thought to be another country, Danville, Illinois. How that happened, we may never know. But left us short of our beloved home of St. Patrick's. Once again, however, our boys were up to the challenge and decided to hike the remaining miles along the back roads of this wonderful country. And ladies, this being the final song of the night, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we boys very much hope that you will insist on one more smash hit for an encore as we finish this next blockbuster number. Please know, it'll be really sad for us if you ladies all leave and we have to play to a bunch of empty chairs.
Just to close out our show, I want to introduce all our band members and cast. So let's start with the band members. There on the ivories, we have Michael Felty. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Michael. On the bass, Sam Reese. Thank you, Sam. On the drums, Joe Rasmussen. Thank you, Joe. All right, and our cast members are about to appear one by one. Just just like lightning at that door. I just can see them just about now. And there they are. The first one is John Miner. Let's give it up for John. And Chad Beckett, new to the cast this year. Give it up. All right. Gary Mosley. Let's hear it for Gary, guitar and vocal. Hear it for Terry, our illustrious announcer and singer. Let's hear it for Dave Madden. Singer, banjo player, harmonica player, jack of all trades. Tom Kasich, let's hear it for Tom. And last but not least, Gary's on. Oh, and I'm Jim May. Thank you much.
Ladies, as you may or may not know, the Catholic Boys are a very green organization. We are very much into the environment and recycling. And with that in mind, we are going to recycle one of tonight's songs for you.
Go ahead.
So
USA.